Hello, everyone. Did you know that being bored is good for you? I know for a lot of us, boredom is something that we try to avoid at all costs. However, there's a huge part of the creative process that only works when we are bored. So, when our brain doesn't have a stream of things filling it up, it has this ability to make random connections. And so when we're constantly in situations where we used to be bored, like standing in line at the grocery store or waiting for something, right now, we tend to pick up our phones and scroll through. And a lot of times when we do that, it's in the name of productivity. I'm going to clear out my email box while I'm sitting here doing nothing, or I'm going to check up on my social media feed so I don't have to do it later. And there's definitely some truth to that. But there is something about letting your mind just wander that feeds creativity. Going on a walk and not listening to a podcast. Just letting your brain fill itself up with random connections and insights. There's a reason why people will talk about getting great ideas in the shower or while you're driving or on a walk. When you're doing some things that are sort of mindless, that don't require your executive part of your brain to really be engaged, you don't really have to think about what you're doing in the shower, or when you're driving a route that you drive all the time, you don't have to think about, oh, I got to watch for that turn. You just make it naturally. Uh, then your creative part of your brain is sort of free to play. And so when that happens, it's making all these random connections. I've often talked about, I call it the compost pile, but some people call it the girls in the basement or the boys in the basement. And it's that sort of subconscious part where everything that you've read and experienced and learned all kind of goes in there, and it creates its own little mess of goodness from all the bits and pieces. And I like the compost pile analogy because when you're cooking, you put the little tops of the carrot and the potato peel and the eggshell and the coffee grounds. You put all that, it's pretty gross looking, but it creates magic over time, right? It's something fantastic that you put in your garden and it helps your plants grow. And so I really think the creative process is a lot like that. But it really doesn't work very well if you don't have some of this built in boredom time to let it make some of those connections, to percolate, to germinate, to do all those wonderful things that happen when we're not consciously thinking about a problem. So we definitely want to be productive. I obviously encourage a lot of productivity, but also part and parcel with that, maybe two sides of the same coin, is some specific downtime where your brain allows itself to be bored so you can make some of those creative connections. So think about where you could actually put some boredom into your schedule. Don't pick up your phone. Don't turn on that podcast. Just maybe let yourself wander and see what comes up. All right. I hope you enjoyed this